How's it going? Nice to see you. How are you? Thank you. How's it going? You well?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, not bad. How's your weekend been?
Yeah, really good. Thanks. Yeah.
Good.
Good time.
What have you been up to? Okay.
I feel like I should mirror what you're doing, but I don't eat. I eat with the crust first.
Do you?
Because
do whatever you want to do.
It's not like my favourite bit, so I just
get
get
it
rid
out
of
of
it.
the way.
Yeah. It was only the other day when someone pointed out to me that I think I said to someone that was leaving their crusts on their sandwich at work.
Yeah.
And,
what, like not eating them?
Not eating the crust, yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, all the goodness is in the crust though. And they're like, what do you mean? And I was like, so that's where all like the fibre and shit in the bread is, isn't it? And they're like, no. And I'm like, yeah.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah. And they're like, that's what your parents tell you when you're a kid to make you eat the crust. So
Yeah.
I was like, they're like, just think about it. It's made from the same dough, isn't it? And I'm like, oh yeah, that is well true actually.
All right. So we are at Pizzaria Rustica.
Yeah.
Here we are in Richmond. So I guess, how come you agreed to do this, first of all? I mean, it's very kind.
I don't know, like...
Because, like, it's a strange... Well, it's not a strange thing, but a lot of people would see someone, like a stranger, saying, do you want to go for pizza? And be like, no.
Yeah. It wasn't the pizza, I've got to say. I do love a pizza.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like a kind of thing that, like, cool London metropolitan liberal elites do. No, I've never been, had the opportunity to jump on before, so I thought, yeah, this is who I want to be, basically, I think, yeah.
Fun childhood?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think all children have fun, don't they? But,
I mean, childhood is... I think everyone looks back on their childhood as a fun time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the nostalgia, but I just love having more energy than I do now.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what I miss
true.
the most.
True. Yeah. I remember, like, it's just true. When you're a kid, like, do you see that thing where you rub your hands together like really hard?
Yeah,
hard,
yeah.
it like starts burning your hands. I've tried to do that now, and I'm like, my arms just get so tired, and I can't generate that much heat anymore. Like,
kids are so stupid. It's conscious to give you some time to eat your pizza as well. How is it?
The crust is good.
Crust is good. Oh man.
Also, using the crust technique as well.
Yeah.
You do end up, because I just sort of do here, and here.
Yeah.
Everything is hexagons, and then I always end up cutting into a smaller hexagon afterwards.
Do you work your way into the middle?
I don't do it deliberately, but it's sort of like Close Encounters of
the third kind?
Yeah, I'm just haunted by these hexagons every time I eat the pizza. I'm not doing it deliberately, the hexagons just arrive.
While you're in school, did you have a favourite teacher?
I had definitely favourite teacher. No, probably had a favourite teacher in every school, yeah, but so I had a teacher who was a physics teacher. And I think he used to be a nuclear physicist.
Wow.
And I remember once, he came in, he used to do all kinds of mad stuff. He came in one day with this, we were doing about radiation, and he came in with this, like, I can't remember what it was, like uranium or something, and it was like, he was like, I do have a slightly naughty piece of radiation.
Slightly naughty.
And it was like,
don't tell the government.
Yeah, that basically was what it does. So, like, he brought in this, like, I don't know, somehow procured from one of these nuclear facilities he worked at. I think I was quite a weird kid, like, I think, this is going to sound so weird, like thinking I thought this as a kid, but I didn't know what business I had being a sentient being. Do you
right.
know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
interesting.
Obviously, I didn't, not in those terms, but
so
I
explain.
Sort of couldn't understand why this consciousness was living this life. Sounds mental.
No, I get
like,
what you're saying.
Yeah, like,
I mean, stuff. When I was a kid, I used to think about like one thing that. I think we're maybe saying the same thing here. There was hundreds of people and thousands of people that I would meet in my life. How come I'm me and I'm not them?
Exactly.
Like yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
It's weird.
How come I'm not some kid in India? I was thinking, like, it seems so much the default. Maybe not for you because you're not English, but it seems so much the default to be English. And I was like, well, how come I'm like? There's not many people that are English, and why am I one of them? And you just couldn't like.
Say I wasn't conceived when I was, right? And then a couple of months later, that I was. Would that consciousness be mine, or would I have missed out my chance there?
Yeah, precisely.
Stuff like that.
It's really interesting. I've probably not actually mentioned this a lot to anyone else, and like it's really interesting that you actually have the same thing. So maybe everyone does that. Yeah.
You mentioned you're a vegetarian.
Ah, yeah.
Do you mind me asking why?
No. I was just my parents when I grew up were both vegetarians.
Right.
So I think it was offered to me that I could eat meat if I wanted to, but it just seemed like sort of the default position. It's sort of ironic because my mum hasn't. She now actually eats meat. So yeah, my dad is still
It's really done one over on you.
Yeah, yeah.
Tricked you. Don't know how you interpret this, but what things in your life are important to you?
I think someone said, one of my colleagues said that their grandfather had a good way to put his philosophy on it, certainly, which is that happiness is achievable goals.
Yeah.
Short-term achievable goals. I think it says so. Possibly the feeling that you're achieving something, getting somewhere, some sort of progression, I guess, is important.
I agree. I have a similar mindset. I love making lists and ticking things off. Just gives me pleasure. Even at work, if I have something small to do, like so small that you wouldn't put it on a list, but then I do it, I'd write it on my list just so I could cross it out. You know, it's just such a nice feeling. And I think life's something like that. Yeah. How's the pizza going?
I've completed the crust.
I noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. It looks really tasty that way now.
Yeah, right. And I've got all the goodness.
So, if you could go back in time to any point in your life and give yourself any advice, would you do it?
It's interesting, isn't it? The first thing comes to my mind about that is like to say, reality is chaos, and so anything you do could have any amount of unexpected outcomes.
Like a butterfly effect.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm sort of more believing that less and less now because I don't know. It sort of seems like when you wake up in the morning and you think, oh, anything could happen today. But actually, typically, exactly the same things happen as they do every other day.
It's a very good point. It's like if
does
you
anything
were...
I do matter?
It's a very good point. If you were 20 years away from today, and someone said, "Do you want to go back in time to this morning?" You're like, "Oh, it sounds dangerous." But then you wake up this morning, you're not like, "I better be careful with everything I do."
Yeah.
That's true. I've never looked at it like that. What is your favourite memory?
Me and my girlfriend went to Cornwall. Been to Cornwall?
Yeah, I love. Yeah. Well, I've been to Devon.
I've been to the West Country. Yeah. So it's that whole good. The whole holiday is really good actually.
Yeah.
It was mainly off the back of that. I've been on similar holidays so many times with my parents, and so I know those areas quite well. So I'd say my girlfriend never, I think, been there, or certainly obviously not had exactly the same holidays we've had numerous times.
Yeah.
And so I'd say, we'll go down to Land's End and we'll see Lizard Point.
Is Land's End the most southerly point?
No, it's the most westerly point.
Oh,
so actually I mean Lizard Point. So
okay.
I said, I said today we'll do this, we'll go down this and that and the other, we'll get the pasties from Anne's Pasties, which is a pasty shop we know down this.
Amazing.
Yeah. And Anne's Pasties as well was like, it used to be just someone's garage. It was
really?
It was just down this residential street. But now they have converted the garage into a shop and it's more of a thing. But
it's so popular.
We've always had the best pasties there. Anyway, I said, so we'll get Anne's Pasties, get really good pasties there. And then we'll go to Lizard Point and we'll see the seals.
Yeah.
And you'll see the way it panned out, exactly as I said. Like, we went and got the pasties. Luke was like, these are really good pasties. Like, yeah, I know. And then
yeah, I know.
We went to Lizard Point and I was like, and I was like, we'll go down there, see the seals. So we went down there, and sure enough, you could see the seals. And it's just like, how did you know there'll be the seals there? And I was like, there's always the seals there. I don't know, like.
Do you believe there could be alien life out there?
Yeah, I think it could be. I mean, people much more clever than me are sort of coming up with possible reasons why they couldn't be, aren't they? Rather than why they could be. Yeah. So that makes me think, well,
it's got to be something to it.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
There's also theories in there about. There's like there's the theories that all civilizations die out at a certain point. You invent some technology that
just like
wrecks the civilization.
What is the word I'm trying to think of? A singularity, is that it?
Yeah,
where you reach a certain point where we destroy ourselves.
Yeah. Instead of saying, okay, maybe that's why there's no aliens, because they've all destroyed themselves, and so will we. But
what's something that you're really proud of in your life? let you get that pizza into you first.
Okay. Was the last guy you did like as messy a eater as me? Obviously not.
I wouldn't say you're messy.
Every time
just
I think
very particular either.
Oh really? I think the opposite. Every time I'm like shoveling in like way too much, and everything's all coming out of size, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm on camera.
No, I think your table manners are to be admired.
Okay.
You're very nice and forky. I wish I was nice and forky. I'm quite handsy with a pizza.
Well, the thing is, you can't do the crust technique if you're without the knife and fork, so that's probably where that comes
True.
from. Really proud of my relationship with my girlfriend. So we've been together for I think coming up for 13 years now. So
oh wow, congratulations!
A long time, especially after I'm 34. So
yeah,
been together for like, a lot of our adult lives. So that's
lovely.
Really good.
That's nice.
Really cool.
Congratulations, man. That's a long time.
Thanks. Yeah, sure.
Very nice.
I'm somewhat proud of some pieces of music I've made, but that's only I've been making music for quite a long time now. Probably like maybe coming up for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's taken me a while to get to this point where I'm really making music that I sort of like listening to.
Yeah.
I've got 6 or so pieces that I think are good, or 5 or so, something like that.
So, is it online anywhere?
Yeah, sure.
Can you send me a link?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Sure, yeah. Sweet. Funny, so I put some music up on SoundCloud. I've got I had like 6 or so tracks on there, and I got contacted by this sort of like. I always suspected there was some sort of. It sort of goes back into conspiracy theories, but I always suspected there was this sort of drum and bass, sort of drum and bass secret society kind of thing.
Right.
Because you were thinking, how is this guy getting so big?
Like the Illuminati of drum and bass.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah. And I was thinking, how is suddenly this guy's everywhere? Like someone you've never heard of a week ago, doing all these shows. You think something's happened here. There's some like dark forces at work. Anyway, so sure enough, like we put my tunes out, getting a bit of interest here and there.
Yeah.
Just got added to this WhatsApp group, and it was like just straight away someone demanding like sort of a producer that is fairly famous, like that I sort of know, and just demanding like, why do you put your tunes up on SoundCloud for free?
Really?
Why are your tunes not mastered well? You should send me your tunes. I'll master them better for you.
Wow.
You have good. And he's actually said, we've been listening to your tunes. You have good tunes, but they're mastered badly.
Like Men in Black or something.
Yeah. And this guy like.
Did you take him up on it?
Yeah. He's really like.
So he was legit.
Yeah. He keeps mastering my tunes for me like over and over again.
That's
and he gets
nice.
really excitable, man. So he keeps going. I've had another go on this. Like, it's only a good master. I'm happy with it, kind of thing. And he goes, I've had another go on this one. Such a good job. I'm loving it. I'm dancing around the studio now. Anyway. So the point was that the 2 best tunes are not on SoundCloud, but I'll send you them.
Yeah,
because they demanded that I remove them.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's like a mafia.
Yeah, that's what we call them. Me and my girlfriend call them the drum bass mafia. Yeah.
Drum bass mafia. Why are you selling this concrete for free? Are you afraid? Do you have any phobias? Are you afraid of anything?
Yeah. I'm really afraid of needles.
Really?
Like having.
I mean, I don't love them, but.
Oh, don't think most people do. Like, I had to have an operation a while back, and they wanted to do a blood test, like simply, completely reasonably, because they wanted to know what my blood type was.
Out of line, doctor.
Yeah. Unreasonable. I was with like one of my friends, a friend that I lived with at the time, and me and my girlfriend lived with her, and I worked for her as well, so she gave me a lift just before I started driving, so she gave me a lift to the hospital. And I was like, obviously holding her hand like so tight, like, I think I was like crushing her hand, and I was in tears over it and everything. So it wasn't even that long ago. I was like a proper adult, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously, eventually they just said like, this operation doesn't go that wrong that much, and it's not that bloody. We don't really think it's worth trying to pursue this blood test.
Really?
And I didn't have to have the blood test.
So you skipped the blood test?
Yeah. In fact, even in the operation, when I went in for it, obviously they put the line in, don't they?
Yeah.
And
yeah, so you still have to do that bit, no?
Well, you say that. They can try gas induction, which is where they have the gas that knocks you out.
But it's a bit old school, that, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he was saying, but the thing is, it's only really. No, I think he was quite positive about it. But then on the day, the actual sort of anaesthetist, I guess, or the nurse, I think, on the ward, was saying, that only really works for children. Like, we don't really recommend it for adults. And I said, well, can we just try? Like, and then she was like, okay, fine. Like, I remember when they wheeled me in, like the guy started getting ready with the line and all this, and then I just remember someone going, no, it's a gas induction. It's a gas induction. And then, oh, is it? That's a bit weird. But okay, right, we'll do it. And then I think even they said, like, it doesn't normally work on adults, but we'll try. And they'll go, okay. And they were like, okay, count backwards from 10. I swear I got to like 8, and I was. So
really,
that it doesn't work on adults is a lie.
Oh,
Like, that's not true
works.
at all. Yeah.
Do you have a favourite movie?
I think it's probably The Big Lebowski now.
Oh, that's a great film, yeah.
And there's an incredible script on the internet as well called...
It's such a quotable movie as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good script called The Two Gentlemen of Lebowski.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's like, what's that Shakespeare? Isn't it The Two Gentlemen of Verona? It's like The Big Lebowski but written in like the Shakespearean style, so
Right.
it's written in Elizabethan English. It's so good. Like, you know, in the first scene where the nihilists, one of the early scenes, where the nihilists are like have his head down the toilet. And
Yeah. There's something about a rug in it, isn't it?
yeah. And they're going, where's the money, Lebowski?
Yeah.
Where's the money? And like they bring him up, and he goes, I saw it down there somewhere. Like, what, yeah, well,
Clever.
In The Two Gentlemen of Lebowski, he goes, where the be the money, Lebowski? The money. And he goes, faith I glimpsed upon it down there someplace. Pray let me glimpse again.
That's great.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
That's really good. How was your pizza?
Really nice, man.
Well,
I'm not that
I
fussy,
think
so-
we've covered everything.
Well, really? Well,
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks.
thank you.